Welcome to a new week in the summer. It's a beautiful day, not so beautiful. What's happening with gold and silver? We got to talk about gold today. I will show you what's really happening in the gold market. I'll give you my prediction how long this consolidation will last, when we will break out to the upside, and we will break out to the upside, and my price target for gold for the next bull run in the Medal of the Kings. Let's talk about it. Welcome to Hot Trades of the Day, your show for swing trading ideas for the coming days, weeks, and month. Okay, so this is the chart of gold. Great week last week based on technicals and obviously also Trump tariffs. There were concerns and rumors in the market that there's going to be tariffs on Swiss gold bars imported into the US. That'll increase the prices, push the gold price higher. White House said that's fake news. Gold price is selling off today. So what does that really mean? It means it's a big nothing burger. You don't need to worry about it. It's not happening. What a lot of people didn't catch, when the executive order of US President Trump came out on March 23rd for the metals and mining in the US. You know what I'm talking about, improving the conditions, easier permits, faster permitting processes, all these things. Gold has been included. Gold is a strategic metal for the White House. Okay, it'll always play a role. If you need to learn anything from last week and the gold price movement on the possible tariffs of Swiss gold bars, it is that what I've been telling you for a month in this commodity super cycle, you want to invest in US projects in the metal sector and rare earth sector. Canada also okay. Australia comes a distant third. This is where the best action is going to be in the US. But let's look at gold. So, I don't know why we are the only channel that talks about the downtrend in gold, but that's what it is. Nobody else is talking about it. I'm watching a lot of channels. I'm reading a lot about gold. We're the only ones. Doesn't matter. We know what's up. You see it right here, the downtrend, and it got confirmed again at the end of last week and the beginning of this week. So this is a big downtrend. You remember the breakout, that was when, and let's call it like it is, I was way too early, said this is a breakout signal, and then we fell back down, right? Turned out to be a bull trap. Now we tried to break it again and just got bounced off. So that's the situation. Really, nothing is happening in gold. With big moves up, all the gold bulls are clapping and cheering and popping champagne. And then we go down and the bears are laughing and pointing the fingers and said, haha, look at me, glad I bought all these weird meme coins that are going to go to zero and not gold. But really in the end, as you can see here clearly, since April, nothing has happened. So where are we? We're basically 4 weeks into this consolidation. We are going sideways. Let's not overthink this, okay? In technical terms, this is a perfect bullish consolidation over time. Check mark for the bulls. Here's the second part that also not many people talking about. This summer has been absolutely, especially since July, terrible for gold on the fundamental side. If there ever was a reason to sell your gold, this would have been it. Dollar going up strongly. Risk on in the equity markets. Crypto moving, for example. Crisis like the Israel-Iran war basically vanished. And no new global threats happening. Instead, Trump-Putin talks on the horizon, whatever that will lead to, but basically meaning that geopolitical risk could be reduced. If there ever was a time for gold to severely sell off, it would have been July and now. And look where we are. Gold is actually fractionally up from the beginning of July. That is extremely bullish. It doesn't get much worse for gold and gold is hanging in there. Now, let's get to it. So, if all this is right, then when will the correction end? For that, let's zoom out. The old wisdom of the technical traders, when in doubt, zoom out. Okay, so what you see here are the last 4 corrections and consolidations in gold since 2023. The most valuable are really these 2. Why is that? Because they happened after the breakout. So they happened within the new bull market of gold. As you can see, they all look pretty similar. And we're going to focus on these 2. And if we take the time that these 2 consolidations needed to work themselves out and then the gold price to break out and go higher, we basically come out to a time period of 3.5 months to 5 months. And this adds up with the older 2 that I showed you before. So what does that mean? We are in month 3.5 to 4. That means, based on the patterns of this gold bull market, gold will break out in August or in September. And if that is the case, this sell-off actually makes sense, because that would be, again, institutions trying to shake out the weak hands to buy up more gold. I predict gold to go up and break out and start a new rally in August, and we're already mid-August or September. That would perfectly correlate with the correction in the stock market, which traditionally happens in September. Everybody's worried about the magic correction months of October, but that's actually not true. September is the worst month in the stock market. It's just that in October, the big crashes happened, like 1987, for example. Right? We also have the phenomenon now that people have learned from the history, and we have the algorithm. So the markets actually try to front run these developments, meaning that's why September became the worst month in the past, right? You had the big crashes in October, and then people decided, I'm going to be really smart. I'm going to front run and sell in September because I know October is going to be really bad. Well, now September by now has been established as the worst month for stocks. So what does that mean? Well, I'm going to move into earlier September or the end of August. And if we have a correction in the stock market, and let's not kid ourselves, when this comes, it's going to be short, but it's going to be brutal because there is insane leverage in the risk on equities right now. Private investors are leveraged up to their ears, and it's going to crush a lot of people. If you are leveraged up in the stock market, you should seriously considering reducing that leverage significantly in any strength. So if that happens, where will people go? Well, they will run to gold. And all we need is the breakout. We know this, right? All we need is the breakout for the trend following systems to kick in, and then the new gold rally starts. So how high will it go? Well, if we look at the rallies that followed for the past breakouts, and let's include this one from 2024 as well, the rally is basically around, on average, 25%. Let's call it like 20 to 25%. Now, we are in markets now where markets, wherever it is, tend to overshoot to the upside. We saw this in April with gold actually overshooting to the upside to 3,500, which was pretty much the year-end price target for most gold predictions, and we got there by April. Considering this, the range probably should be between 20% to 30% to the upside for the next phase of the rally, which averages out to 25%, like I just told you. And that means, based on the breakout, the target zone for this next rally will be somewhere between 4,100 to 4,300 US dollars an ounce. And I prefer the upper end to this because of the hype and the overshoot to the upside that we have now in the markets. What does that mean? That means we want to buy any weakness in gold, add to positions. When it comes to the miners had a fantastic run last week. Why is that? Because we had perfect scenario. We had gold price going up and risk on in the market. That's a perfect scenario for the miners, right? When we get a correction in the miners, any correction, it won't be big enough anymore, especially when the new rally starts. We want to buy up the gold miners, especially the juniors, that have growth on the horizon in the coming years. A stock like Equinox Gold. I'm not saying you should buy Equinox Gold. You should do your own research and decide that. But what I'm trying to say, that's a perfect example. 2 new gold mines coming online in Canada, so that are just starting their mine life, right? That is what I'm talking about. There's the big growth phase is ahead of us, and we get the rising dollar. That's 2 turbos for the stock price going up. And there's several junior miners like that. And a few seniors, but not that many. Those will be the best stocks, and obviously with projects A, USA, B, Canada, and then a distant C, Australia and Mexico, because of the government change in Mexico and the change in mining policy. We'll talk about the miners next. Don't get sucked in to too much euphoria and too much panic. Just sit on your gold. Just add in weakness if you want to do that with swing trading positions. Get ready to buy the miners on any weakness. It's going to be a good fall winter for us here at Gold World. Have a great start to the week. Bye-bye.